Hey guys, how's it going? I know it's been a while, but we are back making videos. I'm gonna try to be a lot better with this. To be clear though, I really needed this month off. And I did try to get, certain events in, like the Akkie's hatching and such. I wasn't gonna let that go without you guys being involved. So I'm happy I live streamed a lot of that and communicated with you guys a lot then, but I apologize for not posting a lot of videos. It's just been a very, very unique month, to put it at the least. Especially last week, we had to put Lizzie down, and I'll talk about that more so in an update video I will be doing at some point in the future, maybe the November update video. I'll talk about it. But yeah, this video is dedicated to her. I only had her a couple months, but really upset about her passing. I hope I made her last couple months good. But anyway, guys, today I wanted to talk about sort of the final step in this breeding process. I know since the summer, we as a community have been, documenting and talking about breeding my Ackies and sort of going through the whole incubation process and such, and we've been checking in and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to wrap up sort of this start to finish of them hatching with a video on transitioning them out of the incubator, putting them in their new enclosure I have over there that you guys would have seen if you saw some of the live streams, and we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. But yeah, I just kind of want to finish this whole thing up since I kind of gave some direction with the whole process in the beginning of how to go about breeding Ackies and such, and then incubating the eggs. Dell is actually pretty gravid right now. I'm going to try to put them together again. I actually tried this weekend, and Dell was not having it. She was getting a little nippy, so I'm going to try one more time and then give it a little bit more of length before I try again. But hopefully it'll go soon because she is very gravid. She's very chunky. Anyway, but yeah, we've been documenting this whole process. So I might as well wrap it up, tell you what I did so you guys know, if you're doing something similar, how to go about the final stage of your Ackies hatching, how to go about transitioning them, what you need to know, and such like that. But here's all the babies. There are 7 of them. They are flipping crazy, to put it at the least, especially them eating. Maybe I'll put in a little video of them eating at some point in this video. We also have Max here. She's out running around. Thought I'd just say hi to her. Hi, Max. How you doing? She does not want to be on camera. She is going crazy right now. But yeah, anyway, guys, let's get to it. Let's talk about it. We can first start with the actual, them hatching, how long I kept them in an incubator and such. So we'll just pan over here. And I got to watch where I'm stepping because Max likes to get under your feet without you knowing. I haven't moved this yet. I have to clean it out and everything. There's actually the last egg that hatched still in there. They all hatched actually at the same time except for one. I was actually worried this last one right here wasn't going to hatch. It hatched about 2 days after the others, but as some of you might know, and we talked about this in the last live stream, once one hatches, they all start kind of falling like dominoes because they start knocking into each other, and that kind of wakes them up and lets them know, hey, it's time to hatch. So most of them hatched at the same time, but this guy took a little couple extra days to get out, but he or she did, and I'm happy about it. I was really worried that it just was an egg that wasn't going to hatch, but they all hatched. I was really surprised with how small they were going to be. Even towards the end, I was questioning the sort of size of the actual eggs being only like an inch or 2 in size. It's kind of hard to tell probably on video and with it already kind of being destroyed, but that's not that big of an egg, guys. But yeah, they were very small, and they're still pretty small. As you can see here, they've actually grown quite a bit, to be honest. I know they're pretty tiny still, and they are, but over the week and a half, I guess now that they've been out of the egg, they've been growing quite a bit, I gotta be honest. But I guess any cricket in their tummy or any food in their tummy really increases their size as it is, which is really impressive. They could take down pretty much a cricket the size of their midsection and eat it and be totally fine. Really, really cool to watch. Their hunting skills have a little bit to be desired, though, which is the funny part. But anyway, guys, yeah, so they all hatched pretty much at the same time. Hold on, I'm trying to, again, walk around. See, look at her. already behind me. But yeah, they all hatched around the same time with the exception of that one. And I was advised to keep them in there for about 24 hours to let their tummies heal and sort of get adjusted. I did leave them in there for a little bit longer. I left them in there for probably 48 hours. They all hatched at different times, but I would say on average, each one stayed in there for about 2 days. Just to let them adjust, and I was finishing off their enclosure, which I've been showing you. In terms of letting it air out a little bit more, I did a polyacrylic water-based sealant sort of on the wood on the inside. I want that to air out a little bit, and I did some safe caulking on the corners, pretty much on the bottom. I don't really caulk up top because it's not touching any of the substrate, but I wanted to air that out a little bit more, so I left them in there a little bit longer than 24 hours. I wouldn't go over 48 hours, but I don't think 48 hours was a bad idea. They actually adjusted well and were a little bit more, I guess, active when I transferred them than if I would have in the first 24. They didn't do much in the first 24 hours besides rest, which is understandable. It's a lot to hatch, I guess, ask these guys. But yeah, so you want to make sure you let them kind of chill out in their little box in the incubator for about 24 hours or so, let their tummies heal and let them get adjusted, and sort of, get over the whole excitement of hatching. But then after that, you could transfer them right into their enclosure and basically, put them in their pretty solid environment, their environment that they will be in for pretty much the rest of their lives in terms of the correct substrate, sand soil mix. You don't have to do anything protective there. Right now, I don't have too much in terms of climbing. I am going to put some stuff in there soon. I want to be very observant of them for at least the first week or so. You can see, look, already displaying this dominance behavior, guys. You see that? I can't imagine this being a sexual thing, just because they're so young. This has to be some sort of dominance, but he does that. First of all, that might be a he, because he is pinning up the legs. Oh my god. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll have to ask some people who've experienced them at this age. I would imagine this being dominance behavior, but the pinning of the legs in the back and such, that's a little bit more the dominance behavior, but they are not at that age yet. Anyway, guys, that was a weird tangent, but they're already being feisty. But yeah, I pretty much, when I get any new animal, not even just, babies hatching, I like to keep it to the bare minimums and put them in a more constrained tank. Now, I don't really need a more constrained tank or enclosure for these guys. They're in a 4x2x3. And I can pretty much see everything in this, so I don't need something more constrained. Plus, they had that kind of time in their incubator, I would say, anyway, for the first 48 hours. But I like to keep the enclosure, them itself, even if it's, to go further with this, even if it's an animal I've had for a while, and I'm moving them to a new environment, I like to keep it sort of barren a little bit so I can see what's going on, see if there's any changes due to stress or anything. And but especially with these guys, since they're newborns, you got to make sure they're healthy coming out, moving into a less stable environment. There's only really a little thin water bowl or pool here. It's very, very low. They don't really drink out of it, but I give it there as an option. They have a hide there. I'm gonna be moving some wood in there soon that I will be getting to allow them to climb a little bit. I'm going to be putting in, what's it called, UVB up there too. I'm going to get another Arcadia tube light for that. And I'm going to build a stack up right there, and I'll do a video on how to build one of those stacks so they could get within or close to the limits of the UVB. I think 15 inches is what I'm aiming for, after I've talked to Arcadia a little bit. But yeah, it's at the bare minimum right now, but I'll be adding in stuff pretty soon. Just wanted to make sure the first week went smoothly. But yeah, you could pretty much just transfer them right into sort of their permanent enclosure in terms of, or temporary enclosure, I guess, if you're selling them off or giving them away, whatever. It really depends on what you're doing. I'm obviously selling mine to people who already are on my list. Make sure if you're on that list, you get in contact with me so I can talk to you about the steps moving forward. But yeah, I've heard from a couple. I need to hear from a couple more, though. So make sure you get in contact with me somehow. But yeah, you just move them in here, and they've been doing fine. It's been a week and a half, like I said. Some adjust pretty readily. Some took a little bit longer. I was concerned about one of them because he or she wasn't looking too good. But I think they were just more recently born than the others and was still going through that adjustment period. So that's why I don't think 48 hours is such a bad idea, because usually after the 48 hours, they're a lot more active than within the first 24. But they're very adorable, very fun to watch. They sleep like rocks. It's just very interesting. Their feeding is the most entertaining feeding I've ever seen of any reptiles so far. It is just hilarious watching them try to hunt. But it's not that bad. I mean, obviously, it's very nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking to me. Having them hatch, documenting them. I didn't assist them at all. I let them do it themselves, and that worked out really well. There's no situations that I think warranted assistance, and I was being guided not to assist them. So that all went well. So if you could avoid assisting them, I would. I just sort of let them be. Sometimes I would take the lid off in that 48-hour period they were transitioning to let some airflow in. I recommend doing that, but make sure the temperature outside the enclosure is not too different than what it is in the enclosure. You don't want that change to happen too swiftly. They're very fragile and such, and I would leave them be pretty much when you let that air exchange go. I wouldn't really touch them until you actually move them out. But yeah, it was actually pretty simple. Like I said, very nerve-wracking, very anxious, but overall, not that much work. Just keep an eye on them, make sure everything's going well, and then move them in and keep an eye on them when you move them in their new enclosure. Just make sure you have that enclosure ready, guys. That's been the one thing I wish I did a little bit better throughout this whole process, is just making sure that I got things done ahead of time. And I overall did. I just wish I did a lot more in terms of length. So instead of the week before or something, it was months before. It's just, it takes a lot off your mind if you know you have everything set up and you could concentrate on certain things. But yeah, guys, they're doing amazing here. Let me just open this up before we finish up this video. Maybe I could get in there a little bit. Actually, guys, I'm going to pause the video. You'll see me in a minute, and I'll have some crickets. You can see them hunting a little bit, and we'll wrap up with that. Okay, so I am dusting them right now with D3 because I don't have UVB in there. And I'm just feeding crickets. I was advised to put in something that's very lively and active to attract their attention. I tried a couple dubia roaches in there, and those didn't go over too well just because they were very... they like to hide a lot and avoid being in the action, where crickets are a little more simple, to put it nicely. So crickets are really good. Locusts, if you're in the UK, work well too. I was also told red runners work well too. Those are a type of roach, which I might be experimenting with soon enough. But right now we got some crickets that have been gut loading for a few days. So we'll put those in there. You guys can watch them. And see how bad their hunting skills are right now. It's kind of funny, like I said. But yeah, you don't have to worry too much on size. I know some of these look a little big in terms of size compared to, their bodies, but they take down pretty big ones. I go for the medium size. I know that's sort of arbitrary to wherever you get your crickets from, but my reptile shop, I just get the medium ones from it. And those go down pretty good. They have some small ones in there too, so if they want to choose smaller ones, they can, but there's also some big ones. They like taking down the big ones, so traditional Ackie style. So let's dump these in. Make sure I get them all in there. There we go. And now the fun begins. My favorite part is when they use each other to get the food down their throats. They'll, traditional Ackie style, they like to rub it against stuff, thrash it around. That's how they go about getting the food down. But they like to use each other. It's kind of funny. A lot of tail action too, A lot of their attitude is through their tail actions, how they move it. They get very, very excited with food, so you'll see a lot of tail waving and such. Not a lot of competition. I think they're a little too young for that right now, although you already saw some dominance. Alright guys, so I did put Asus in with Dell. Dell is still acting sort of not interested. She's not being nippy. She's actually being a little bit more receptive. I don't actually know where she's at right now. She's hiding a lot, but the couple attempts Asus has made has been almost successful. He's kind of been giving up. So I'm going to leave him in here for a little bit. As long as things don't get ugly, they'll continue for a week or so until till it seems fit and Dell wants to kick them out. So I'm doing that now, and hopefully we'll have another clutch for the spring. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I am going to continue with that Wednesday, I don't know what I was trying to say, Wednesday, Saturday type schedule in terms of videos. What else? I think I'm also going to try to do Tuesday night Eastern Standard Time, maybe 6 or 7 p.m., a live stream, as well as Sunday. Just so I did a poll a little bit back, and most of you, like 75% of you who answered the poll, said that you would like to see another additional live stream, so maybe I'll offer one on Tuesday nights, like 6 or 7 Eastern Standard Time. So let me know if that's interesting to you. I'll definitely do it. It's an easy way to keep in contact with you guys. Obviously, I'd still be posting Wednesday and Saturday, but hopefully back in the groove now. I think we should be fine. I got plenty of ideas to film and get out there, so I'm pretty excited. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe in that little right-hand corner. Like, leave a comment. See you guys.